It made me an animal.
And what I'm trying to explain to you, ladies and gentlemen, is the real world that our children live in, not the ideal one that we want them to live in, not this wonderful world that we pray that will come here one day, but the real world that they have to live in. You want to know why they're acting so crazy? You want to know why they're doing the things that they're doing? Because we have not prepared them to live in this real world. We have sent them through 12 years of school teaching them this dumb stuff that doesn't work, and when they go out and try to apply it and get killed for it, we are not there.
Me an animal. I eat a fake motherfucker like a cannibal. And I don't even understand how he got that far. Cause every time he write a rhyme, it's about his goddamn car. You know the top 10 hottest in the fucking game? Well, 8 of them niggas fucking lame. It's a fucking shame how y'all put them on a pedestal. But I figure you ain't got nothing better to do.
All right. 1, 2, 1, 2. Microphone check 1, 2. How y'all doing? Y'all know what day it is, right? It's Sunday. Shame. Same Sunday, y'all. Welcome. Got a special guest today. You know, I don't do that often. World class.
What's going on? How y'all doing?
In the building.
Happy same Sunday.
Dual streaming. I appreciate your presence today.
Always.
And your logic, brother. I really appreciate you.
About to get it done. I appreciate y'all.
I hope y'all ready. Trigger warning. You know, because there's always conversations that we don't like to have. Today we're gonna have one. 1 in 6. Y'all know what that means? 1 in 6. 1 in 6 of our boys are experiencing sexual assault. It has risen tremendously. Our girls are 1 in 4. So 1 in 6 ain't that much different. Y'all know over here, we all about protect damn children, protect the children. We're mishandling these children. And I got to bring it forth today, and we're going to talk about it. There's a lot of links in the description. Check them out. Articles, information. It's there. Make yourself aware, okay? Because we all need to be advocates for these children in totality, not just the girls. What's up, y'all? I see everybody pulling up and popping in. Paris Dunbar's in the building. Y'all know I'll go on an emotional rant, start yelling. The world class is in the building. Oh my goodness. Adrian Nicole, hello. Welcome.
Baby.
It's gonna be a doozy today. We're gonna talk about it. The men are opening up and they are talking about it. And it's looking a little different than what most of us young girls were growing up hearing when our fellow peers would talk about being assaulted as a child. Huh? It sounds a little different coming from a boy.
Yeah.
Let's get your thoughts on this initially, Mr. World Class. 1 in 6 males have experienced sexual abuse.
Listen, I know that number is not reflective of the real number. It's much higher than that. It's probably twice as high. It's probably 1 in 3. We probably. Yeah, when it comes to how many young boys is touched and molested by men and women, and people that are mildly older, than them.
Yes.
It happens a lot. We're coached to that it's okay and it's cool. It's a rite of passage. It's a something to brag about. But when you get older and you become an adult, really a preteen, you realize it's not right. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going through so many different changes. You never talk about it. Nobody ever encourages you to talk about it. Whereas on the flip side, when you're a girl and someone touches you, you're taught that that's a crime. And you can actually use that against somebody, or you could use it to protect yourself. But we're not told that. A lot of these guys, most of them that I've talked to in my life, were molested as a child, and it was by a woman. Most of them. So it is, I think, either way, there's always this hush hush when it comes to what mothers are doing to children, and that has to stop. And what you're seeing is a lot of what happens in this space, right? You have people responding to a rebuttal that is a response to another rebuttal, to the point where people just like, hey, look, hey, that you getting so frustrated with the rebuttals to the rebuttals that guys are just starting to say, hey, look, well, if this is the case, then, and then he's giving his story. He's frustrated and he's giving his story on what's been going on with this, what's been going on with that, hearing everybody get to sit up and tell their story and whine and get praised and coddled. And I'm like, you sitting there like, hey man, this happened to me based off what you said, because I was young and somebody touched me. Yeah, I was great too. Right. It happened to me. And you see the response. You know what I'm saying? You see the response that men are getting when they're speaking up, which is important for guys that have gone through it to speak up for these boys. You know what I'm saying? To teach them, yeah, it's not okay. It's not all right. Because when you grow up and these inequalities that you have and these character defects you may have as a young man, you may grow up to have as a man, because you were great, because you were compromised at such a young age, nobody's going to acknowledge them. Right. Nobody's going to give you nobody's going to shoot you bail for that. So if we're not going to allow that young man to be exonerated for his inequalities, his inefficiencies in himself, then we need to stop the crime from happening. And even if we were, we still need to stop the crime from happening, because it's a crime. A lot of things that are happening, which I always talk about, child alienation first, is a crime, and people don't talk about it. And a boy being molested is a crime, but people don't see it like that. 35-year-old chick, 40-year-old chick having sexual intercourse with a 17-year-old or under is molestation and rape. Equality across the board. Y'all like these white man rules when it favor you, like these white man rules when they don't favor you.
Yeah. And it happens even simpler than that, 16 and 10.
Yeah.
13 and 10. You don't know what children have been exposed to sexual advances, and they don't know that it's wrong. So they come around your children and present these characteristics, and then now your child is introduced to this. A lot of that happens. And the child may just be slightly over. It can be a cousin. It could be a damn sibling.
Yes.
It happens, and we need to acknowledge it, and we need to be extremely aware and pay attention to the children, that our own children, not let alone other people's children when they are around our children, and the lack of care that the other parents are not exhibiting, because you can see it and you make that conscious decision to not have your children in that type of environment.
Yes.
We have to do more than wanting to fit a type of script and getting a whole bunch of attention and neglecting our real responsibilities, which are our children. So you know me, I come hard on the mothers. It's your first freaking job. When you choose to open your legs and push out a seed that was planted, it's your responsibility and your duty. And I say it all the time. I don't care if you're married, if you ain't married, if you're with the dude. At some point, if somebody walks away, you are still responsible for that said possession. And you cannot keep pointing the finger at the person who's not around. Now it's even more of your responsibility to protect that child. But we don't protect our boys away from molestation like we do our girls.
That's a fact.
We don't talk about it. You're not talking about consent. Y'all allow your little girlfriends to come around your sons and talk about how handsome they are, and they're going to be their little boyfriend and bounce them on their legs and lay up all on your titties.
Yep.
And think it's cute when they smacking their butt or some music come on and they humping up behind them. That shit is not cute.
At all.
And it's not okay.
At all.
You're setting your boys up for failure. They will be men one day. And y'all need to start being responsible for what you're creating.
Amen.
You complain about them, but a lot of y'all have created. You have created them. So you're going to be held responsible today.
Amen.
Because it is a lack of care, in my opinion. You got to pay attention to your seeds, your responsibility. I'm not pointing the finger at nobody. Fuck daddy, grandma, auntie, uncle, whoever, babysitter. It's your responsibility. Paying somebody $200 a week to abuse your child and you don't know.
Wow.
Sitting up in the church, letting your child go in the back and you don't know who back there amongst your child. Y'all are foolish. To do what? Praise a man that is not God?
Wow.
It's too much for me. It's neglect. It's ignorance. It's irresponsible. And we keep allowing these women to breed. It's not okay. Put a stop to it. Because these young boys are growing up to be our men. They don't know how to lead. They don't know how to share intimacy. They have all these sexual issues. You don't know. Because they're afraid to share. They ain't able to share. Man, let me welcome some more folks in the building. I'm sorry, y'all. Child.
Ricky,
Y'all
what's up?
complain about how the men are, but you created them.
That's a fact.
What's up, Ricky? Ricky is in the building. Red lipstick box in the building. Hey, sis. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Trigger warning. Trigger warning. Donique Anthony's in the building. Welcome, welcome, brother. Peace to everybody. What y'all think, Noble? Noble, what do you think?
Everything you said is facts. I've made that illustration multiple times. This makeshift, what do you want to call it? Indemnity, immunity that females have, where if a dude is talking about how fat a 13-year-old girl's ass is, he's a pedophile. He's a pedo. He need to be hit and punched in the mouth. Right. But like you said, you see every day, every family gathering, whether you gathering at Chuck E. Cheese or any one of these kids' parties, you'll see a grown ass, fully developed mother with her own children pick another little boy up, go, oh, that's my boyfriend, pick him up and put the little boy on her titties, let him play with her titties. Nobody says anything.
I'm like, look at him.
I'm like, my little boyfriend, and that's supposed to be okay. Let a nigga do that. Let a nigga go there. This little 4-year-old, this is my girlfriend. This is gonna be my wife. That sound crazy. That don't even make sense. But like females are constantly showing their sexual attraction to children. And I've been out here in these streets. I've been honest about my escapades out here in these streets, and these girls that are so pretty and people like them, you know, whatever, and they think they want to be them, they want to have them around, but you don't know that those other stories. You don't know their stories, and they're common. A lot of these girls have had their moms, and I'm talking about the little ghetto ones, the fat butt with the stuff in their head. A lot of them, too many of them, have had their moms sell their vagina for rent money and bills, and nobody says anything. A lot of them have had their mom take their virginity. It's a lot going on that people don't know about it. I've had girls screaming into my chest about not what a man did, not a man raping her, but what their mama be doing. And this immunity, this fake immunity, that's really like Mr. He was saying yesterday, this Stockholm syndrome that goes on when you put the lens on it like it's supposed to, when you really look at it from how it is, where we constantly don't talk about how females is child alienating. There's a viral video right now with Krishan Rock saying that she's gonna keep the baby from Blueface, but she can keep that dude. She can come and mess with him when she wanna get some. We don't talk about how these chicks will child alienate the baby from the father side of the family, cut the baby off from resources, conveniently get a baby a value system where I'm the mom, you got to praise me. I do this. I'm the one. I'm doing everything. And then when the baby grow up, that same person will guilt trip that baby that they are the ones that took care of them. But then when you look inside of it, when you're the one that's exposing them to sexual deviancy, you're exposing them to them being raped and molested. And you're exposing them to violence. You're exposing them that it's okay, like you explained earlier, for a little kid to be hurt. Like I was. It's okay for me to be beat up. So it's okay for children to get beat up. So what do I do when I go to school? I go to school and I disrupt somebody else's learning. I attack somebody else's child. Or in another situation where you've been raped, I'm a 16-year-old. I was touched at 10. Now it's okay for me to touch this 10-year-old because they're cute. Because we're putting this sexual attraction stuff on children, and there's a whole pageantry, a pageant competition shit where they're doing that, making children be sexually attractive and stuff like that. So it's not something that is not known. It's just, I think a lot of these people are victims of it, and they don't have the identity or the strength or the confidence that they'll be supported when they talk about it. But that's why streams like this is important to happen, so they can feel confident and be encouraged to speak up, because we talk a lot about healing this. We want to get into our healing. Or you need to deal with that stuff. You need to deal with not only what happened to you, but who let it happen.
That part, and the response. A lot of our people, when they do express that something's happened to them, there's nothing, changes.
Yes.
They're not believed. Some families shun them. Some families say they asked for it.
Yes.
That hot ass comes in, instead of dealing with the issue. Because of course, not breaking cycles. It may have happened to mom and grandma and auntie and all the generations past. So none of them have learned to deal with it. But like you said, the person who is in possession of said child needs to be held accountable. That's Absolutely. The first person to holler at. Like, how do you not notice? Especially the ones who broke that cycle with their children and say, well, I'm doing this to be disciplined enough to be intentional and pay attention to where I keep my children, who I vet around my children, being present in school, present in church, present at the grocery store. You're not just leaving them outside by themselves. All of those reasons is why I've been a helicopter parent. Because me and my brothers raised ourselves. You talking about stair-stepper kids, that's 11 months apart. We're all twins for 2 weeks. Like, that was unique to have to explain that to people. Yeah, I just turned 46, but me and my brother are 46 for another 2 weeks until he turns 47. And then him and that brother are the same age for 2 weeks until he turns 48. Mind you, all of us was born by 17 back in the 70s. Yeah. So, it was a different lifestyle, but absolutely being around other children. Oh, we played 7-Eleven, running, hump, and all of that. Yeah, I don't know if any of y'all grew up in those types of environments, but it was brought out into other children's, environment because they were exposed at home. We didn't have a lot of television with sex. The most there was like Playboys that you can find or something like that. So of course those characteristics was brought right out into the playground. In many neighborhoods, some may not have experienced those types of games, but yeah, I was definitely one of those kids. And to tell my husband when I met him, he was shocked because he had basketball. He had a whole different purpose of play when he went outside.
Right.
But kids with kids can be dangerous, and you have to inform your children. And not just the girls. You have to talk about consent. You have to talk about what's okay, inappropriate touching. But we're not building with these kids, and this is why it's being even more, disaster. More of a problem. I got a couple videos. It's a hard topic, and I think it's been even harder for men to talk about it and discuss because the lack of empathy for them, the idea that they're not human.
Yes.
Is a shame. And for women to speak this way and birth young male children, like what's really good? What's going on here? You have to change your mindset because we don't raise them the same. It's books on it purposely. Let them sit down and be calm and read a book too. But let's listen to one of these videos and tell me what y'all think.
Hey, Paul, do you deal with patients who have had sexual trauma in their childhood or in adult life?
Every day. The statistics are staggering. 1 out of 5 men were sexually abused before the age of 16. I think it's 1 out of 4 women were sexually abused. We're awash in a population that was sexually abused as children. Yes, we deal with them, but I want to caution everyone. Going to a sex therapist is not the place to start, because the sexual problems that are a result of childhood sexual trauma are the symptoms. They're not the problem. The problem is unresolved dealing with and processing childhood sexual trauma. You must go to someone who is an expert in that. I will tell you right now, I mean, I'm not an expert in it. Folks, I send you to my list of specialists. Please seek out someone who's a specialist in childhood sexual trauma. They have extra training, it's their expertise. That's where you want to go. Once that problem is solved, then we can work on the sexual symptoms. But guess what? So much of the time, the problems that crept into life because of childhood sexual trauma are going to resolve much more easily once the underlying problem is taken care of.
I agree with him. I agree with him wholeheartedly. Yeah. Right.
And being transparent enough to really have that conversation.
Yeah.
And it's hard to relive some of those experiences, because talking about it, you're probably literally going to be reliving it while you're discussing it, and it's painful for many, but getting to that underlying issue is quite important. Then they just keep pointing the finger at all your sexual issues.
Yeah, the fact that he mentioned, so he said like 1 in 5. So 1 in 4 girls, 1 in 6 boys, that's basically averaging out to 1 in 5. That's basically 20% of everybody you ever seen. And that is reported. That's what they have on the books. That's not the gross number. That's not the number of people that went. Yeah, it happened to me, but I'm over it. Like, it's not that. It's not the people who deny it. That's not all of the people that have been trying to report it. People, and I'm saying children as well, trying to report it. So the number is bigger than that. So we know at a minimum, it's 20% of people. 1 in 5 people. 1 in 5 people that you dated. 1 in 5 people that you had sex with. 1 in 5 people in your family. So this is not like a small deal. It happens a lot, and I think it's reported probably about, I would argue, probably like 1 in 40. I think it happens probably 39 more times than it's reported. And I think that's being generous. I try hundreds, but and it's a serious problem. Dealing with, like, you can have a building that has a bad foundation. You got to fix the foundation. But how did the foundation break? The bedrock is fucked up. And a lot of the situation is you can do the sexual thing, you can do which is the symptom, but you don't, even within your kink that you have, that's not allowing you to get to the core of it. And that's feeling like Dr. Nakumbi always be talking about, actually having that voice in your head saying, I'm safe. Because at the end of the day, yeah, you may have these sensitive spots on your body, but you were never protected. And if you were never protected, you got these thoughts saying, I'm not safe. I don't know how to protect myself. And if I don't know how to protect myself and I have a child, what are you going through every day? What are you going through when you have that child? That child is triggering you. Every time you see that baby, every time you get that thought, like, I got to protect that baby. Well, how do I protect that baby when I can't protect myself? And I think some people succumb to it, and those be the people that become the same predators that hurt them, because you don't have no other way than you give into it because you're thinking about it all day. People don't understand the power of thought, psychology, and neuroscience. So, like, if you like in circuitry, which is how the brain is, well, they mimic circuits after how the brain is wired. If you have a mistake in your wiring, and then it goes on to develop, or neurological pathways going on to develop, and you don't deal with the core issue, the disconnect, the short to ground, the short to positive that you may have, your components at the end of the circuit is always going to be messed up. So you have to go back, and what you do with all trauma is you have to get a proper definition, and I use this word specifically, a proper definition of what happened at almost every word that applies to that circumstances, or you will be lost. That's why I always talk about etymology, because we know that there's something behind what we call ourselves called the spirit, which that word means breath. The word spirit actually means breath. That's why I always talk about etymology, because no matter what you think you're doing, you always actualize and you can track it for 90 days. You always actualize the denotative meaning. You always are going to live that real meaning. So behind everything you're doing and everything great that you may be doing, even though it is, you mean well, you're still just masking the problem. And that's why you have, it's so many different stories. When you go look up these stories, you find that you'll have a goddess and a woman that's just doing so great. But they get touched in a certain way and they flip out. Some guys flip out, hit their girlfriend, hit their wife, put his hands on them. You know what I'm saying? But you're not getting down to the core thing. So what he was talking about is extremely important. You got to have proper definitions on what happened, who let it happen, and how you can move forward, because the counter to fear is not love. The counter to fear is accuracy, because fear is false evidence appearing real. You have fear of these things and you know logically, functionally, and systematically how to solve the problem. Every single solitary part of the thing that you're worried about, you have an answer for. And that's how you solve those problems. So I agree with what he was saying in the video.
Therapy is great. Seek that. There's always advice to it, parents, man. There's so much advice to give to parents. And the main thing is being present and being comfortable enough to open that door to conversation with your babies. Like, it's your baby. These consents, opening up the diaper. It's simple things like that. Please and thank you when it comes to that. May I? They will understand that there's a yes and no when it comes to that. And as they get older, gradually have that conversation. There's plenty of books, there's articles, read them, educate yourself so you're more comfortable with having these conversations, because we can't keep allowing our children to be hurt in this way. Like, we know the results, especially if you've been affected, and there's so many stories. Unfiltered Stories is a YouTube channel, and it's human people from beginning to end, testimonies of family molestation. And it always begins at home or somebody in the family that you trust around your children. So knowing this for 30, 40 years, you got to be a little bit more conscious with your prized possessions. Because again, these children will be adults one day, and everybody will not be able to cope and deal with this type of situation, this type of experience, and be able to move forward. What was that? Consent has to be taught, and it has to be nurtured, and it has to be respected. You see people force their children to say hello and hug strangers, at the hips, and, even family members. Go sit with grandma and grandpa. They don't want to. No, don't force them to. They think that they have to listen to every adult, and especially if you're not behind the scenes teaching that consent, appropriate touching, inappropriate touching, you have to tell them. But again, like you said, some families think it's okay kissing and tonguing your child all in the mouth, and everybody come around them, and it's just okay. Yeah, point that shit out. This is where we are now. Like, express that in the presence of everybody. That's not okay. We need to talk about this. What are y'all doing? But we don't say nothing. That's the problem. Nobody want to say nothing. Protect the damn kids. Open your mouth and tell them it's not okay. What the hell? Let's watch another video.
Columbus, a 17-year-old girl is charged because she's having or had sex with a 10-year-old boy.
WTVA's Chris Knowles has been following this story today. He joins us live in Columbus with what he's found.
Right now, I'm standing outside of the Columbus Municipal Court. Now, just a few hours ago, I was here just in this very courtroom, and they charged a 17-year-old And not only that, they charged her mother. Take a look. Pictured is 17-year-old Miracle Morgan. She is charged with sexual battery and statutory rape after allegedly having sex with a 10-year-old, according to Columbus Police Chief Joseph Daltrey. Daltrey says it all happened on Mother's Day. He says a group of kids were gathered and saw it happen. He says the children who watched it told the police. He says Morgan's mother brought one of her other children and some other kids to the homes of those who talked to the police to fight them. The mother and those other children have been arrested.
Wow.
Mississippi. This is in 2023.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was disturbing. It really was. But then I was also a little more disturbing as well when I found out that the mother brought her children to beat up the people who saw what took place. You know, that's not going to be tolerated. Nobody should have to worry about people coming, jumping on them or breaking in doors and wanting to fight them for what? Because you did wrong? Oh, okay. Keep on. We're going to have a place for you. You know, we put the mama in jail. Mama act a fool, she going to jail too. Everybody goes to jail.
I talked to
Yeah. Everybody go to jail.
Amen.
This is how it needs to be. What's up, world class? What you think?
How are you a mother and you're aware of, again, that just, I think I've seen this clip a little bit back or a little ways back, and it speaks to everything I constantly keep saying for people to check within this motherhood, that you're facilitating this crap, and the thought of you getting caught got you so freaked up that you're gonna rally the troops and the pit bulls and go fight the victim.
Children.
Yeah, this is
Mm-hmm.
yes, this is crazy.
This is what we are creating, you know, and I blame the humans, but I blame a lot of the social media too. This 16-year-old, 17-year-old has been exposed to so much sex over the last 15 years with no parental guidance, structure, discipline. Because look at mama. Your child get in trouble, and the first thing you want to do is go beat up the people who snitched. When your child doing something foul.
Yeah.
And not just exposing one child, you exposed a group of children. She thought it was okay to have a whole goddamn sex party around a whole bunch of children. Yeah, some of those children are going to know that that's not okay, and they're going to seek some help. SOS. There's a problem going on.
Indeed.
Something wasn't okay. And mama went and just riled up everybody to go fight. What's going on, y'all? Why are we still in Mississippi, child? Let's finish the crazy.
around the community about it. They asked not to be on camera. They were disgusted.
I think she's got a problem, a bad problem, probably started from childhood, and now that she's become a teenager, it's gotten worse, and that her parents didn't watch out or teach her any better.
See, that's the shit that pisses me off. I get so irritated with hearing that in this space, not because it's inaccurate, but because it's accurate. If y'all know so fucking much, why aren't y'all clown asses policing these mothers like you do these niggas and what they doing and what they not doing? You know so much when something happened that it had to start in childhood. Why are you not better stewards of childhood? I don't understand it. You know the answer, so that means you're willfully allowing these things to happen. And you get your goofy ass on the internet running your goddamn mouth like you bought some shit, but you're not bought some shit, because if you were, you would use all of that know all that you got and protect these babies from these motherfuckers that's doing the stupid shit. That shit irritates me, because they talk and you bring it up, you just make it up, you just hurt. But then when it's put in their face and they use that empathy in the wrong way, whereas if it's them that somebody is talking about, they always put themselves in their shoes. Like, I wish, if it was me, I would want somebody to lie for me and be considered. They always want the damn escape route. They always want the damn benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
And that shit is irritating me. Like, you know it's wrong, but your goofy ass ain't doing shit about it. But you'll run your motherfucking mouth about what some man doing. Like what Mr. He Said was showing yesterday. You come up with these fake ass stories But when a situation where a female is being held accountable for assault on somebody, oh, it's automatically the child this, it's automatically a childhood that. When a guy is talking crap about a chick, oh, your mother did something to that. Oh, my mother, why did you default to my mom?
Mama's fault, right? They never say something about the daddy to you.
How'd you get right there?
How did you get like this? Your mama. It's your mama's fault. Bitch, it's your fault.
That was mama's fault.
I've been a policer. I've kind of always been this way. I am not gonna lie. I will tell you real quick. What the fuck is you doing with that baby? We are not gonna do this. Y'all need to stop with the lying. Like, I never stood for that shit because I see it. Like, I'm not gonna have a victim party with you. And I think that's where women go wrong. We start telling these stories, and instead of trying to help your friend deal with it, we go into the back and forth. Now let's see how much of a victim we were, because you know what happened to me. And now we seeing who's more of a victim. That was a victim competition.
Victim Olympics, like they say.
Olympics, instead of building and working through that. And a lot of us do that. We come together, we victim bond.
Right.
They talk about trauma bonding. The sisterhood ain't nothing but fucking trauma bonding.
Indeed.
And lack of accountability. Because it don't make no sense.
They'll sit and tell you, the sisterhood will look at the same exact video and everything we said and go, well, where was the daddy? Well, where was the daddy? Well, why didn't the dumbass mother go to the daddy in the first place? Why didn't she wait for him to make the decision? Same question. Why y'all default to it was your mama? You mad with your mama? Not me. I watched a video with Cynthia G did the same shit. Try to trick Jay Prince into saying that his mama is just like all the other women. And then went on to say that he had a problem with just his mother. No, you just said she was with everybody else. I don't understand y'all false fake ass logic. Where's the dad at?
I don't think they listen to themselves. The shit be amazing. I be sitting watching like, did they just fucking hear what the fuck they said? Sound dumb. I don't even the lack of comprehension of what's being watched and the lack of empathy for the other side. Like you said, it's all empathy and sympathy for women. But you can never put yourself in a man's shoes ever. He could never be the victim. I know a lot of bitches who put their hands on men, like physical.
A lot.
Like, are you kidding me? And a man is just supposed to not defend themselves or get their sister to come whoop your ass. So you got to be mindful of who you're, doing that to. And gentlemen, like, don't get excited by that type of female. Someone quick to jump up in your face and cuss you out. Who taught you that was okay? You might have learned it from your mama. Your mama deal with you like that. You've seen your mama behave that way and think that shit is sexy or something. So you got to protect yourself, and then you're in jail, clink, clink, because you pushed the bitch into the wall. She hit her head.
Again, the your mama black trope that they throw at us, or response that they give it. Your mama black. What y'all mean when y'all say that? So I've been in the hood, you know what I mean? And I kind of recognize stuff like that. Like if shit going down, the shit might not go down. We say, yeah, you know what it is. You know what I mean? Like that. So it's like a sign and a signal to, you know what's going on. So when y'all say your mama black, what that supposed to mean? What's it supposed to mean? It means that you know your mother is there to fuck you up and get you to conform to the shit that I want you to do. That's what you're too much of a coward to say it. That's what you mean when you say it. Your mama black. I'm supposed to be on code. You supposed to be on code to let me get away with my shit because I know your mother's abusive because she black.
Wow. Yeah, well, this one here was raised by animals, and it's never the mama's fault.
Not the mama. Not the mama. Not the mama. Not the mama.
You do that one more time, and I'm going to throw you across the room.
Not the mama.
Oh, Robbie when he was a baby. Yeah, I like that. Shit happen. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Never.
Damn monsters and dragons and shit.
I'm sorry.
That she's become a teenager, it's gotten worse, and that her parents didn't watch out or teach her any better.
Morgan's bond was set at $100,000. Now, we have just learned that Columbus police have dropped the two of the 3 charges, and now she's only charged with sexual battery. I talked to some people around the community that were not on camera, but they did tell me, well, they were honestly just speechless at first, and they told me they are sickened by this. Reporting live in Columbus, Chris Knowles, WTVA.
Wait a minute. So they rallied up a whole mob to go assault somebody else for some foolishness that they did, and they not getting charged for it?
How did they get sexual assault from a fight? So what?
Yeah, that's the only thing they're gonna charge, because she's 17. And like you said, she wasn't raised right, and she might have been introduced to sexual assault young, and nobody taught her, and blah 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 blah. And she can change and get therapy, for 17-year-old girl. But our boys, hell no, them niggas is getting locked up for 30 years, 15 years. It's not the same. I mean, getting charged. I locked up. There's no accountability for the women. This is why it keeps happening. They make excuses. I was abused. I just didn't know no better, so I allowed it to happen to my children. That's.
Well, you seen what's the girl, Carly? Carly's attorney said he was handling her with kid gloves. So, even though she was the one that committed fraud and was found guilty, not speaking about her like she's a criminal. It's no incentive to be a human being because you don't have to be. And I'll keep saying, I don't care if it's popular, if it go viral or not. If these chicks know that they don't have to be held accountable for beating the most innocent people on the planet, what incentive do they have to be human? They think they can attack anybody and do anything to anything and get away with it because you don't do shit when they fuck up kids. So you're encouraging it. You're doing it on purpose. A lot of this that we need to be addressing is not whether it's happening. It's how do we hold y'all accountable for willfully participating? It's really conspiracy. You're really conspiring.
Yeah.
You hurt children to create narratives so you can whine, sell a child out, sell a man out, take them to the court, trade private information for benefits. That's what's going on. Conspiring against these children for birthright theft.
Child. RICO. It is. And this is why I talk about it all the time, because I've known families of it. This is really happening, and it's been happening. I used to tell my husband all the time, to have 15 friends and me and one other person were not, sexually assaulted. That's unique. And to me, adult people from that time on, and the majority of the women, over some time of getting to know one another, it comes out. And it's like, wow. And some of them have never dealt with it. I've had one friend who said I was the first person that they told, and this person's in their 40s. Could be lying. I don't think so. But, it's unique how many secrets are being held. Like, the people who were, and to adore and love the parents, the mother specifically is amazing to me. It is amazing to me.
A lot of what's happening in these relationships, or lack thereof, is because a lot of people are trying to build a relationship with a victim, and you can't build a relationship because you're not a victim. So you're never going to be able to match up to their sense of or false sense of security. And these people need therapy. They need help. And I know that sounds harsh to where it's like, oh, if somebody victimized me, I can't be in a relationship. But the foundation of relationship is relating, and they can't relate. If this guy hasn't been victimized, he really can't resonate with you. He's not going to be able to understand. There's a level of empathy. Am I saying that only guys that's been molested can vibe with other women that's been molested? Probably. Sounds like that's more of a thing because he has more empathy. He lives it. And not only not dealing with it is a problem, because again, based off of statistics, we're dealing with 20%. That's your range. The 20% of people that we're dealing with, 1 in 5 people, that's the range of people that can understand it. Because if you get with somebody that's happy and healthy, and you're not whole, sorry to analogy, but if you get a rotten apple, you put it with other healthy apples, it's going to affect it, because they're going to have to, you got to steal their vitality to build yours up. And it's just a tough, that's why it's important for it to be prevented, which is more the emphasis.
Right. And you have some women who believe once they express that this is something that happened to them, like, it's a shame that a man would back out. Right. No, he absolutely should, because if it's something that you didn't deal with and you expect me to fix it or take the blame or the shots or all of your ups and downs through it, I'd rather not. I'd rather not.
It's a lost cause. It's a lost cause.
You have to do the work to work through that, and you may never. But to think that someone has to forever be empathetic and consider your unwavering emotions and, be lucky they backed out. Take that as that's a way out. You can't force someone to fix you or make you happy or guide you through some trauma that they didn't cause.
Yep.
This is what a lot of women are.
Yeah.
Nobody, that is not the man's purpose, to come into your life and guide you through the trauma that they did not fucking cause.
And don't have the skills for. The guy in the video didn't say go to the next boyfriend. He said go to a professional.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any traumas, just being abused. Like you said, some people come up with mamas who talk to them horribly, families who talk to them horribly, and don't think that is abuse. It's abuse.
It is.
You got your ass whooped for everything with no love behind it, no nurture behind it. Yeah, it's abuse.
And then it's followed by habitual abuse, whereas you get an ass whooping and then your mama making up for it with food. And then to do a false compensation for the rest of your life, you eating. Every time you sad, every time you think it's a consequence, you eat. Now you're abusing yourself. Now you have self-sustaining abuse, because you're using something that can't solve the problem, like food, with something that's severe, like the person you came from that looked like you is the person that's causing the most pain. Let's talk about that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
and
that's
it's different for everybody. And that is an absolute depends. Because I hated my father. When y'all talk about, oh, you must hate your father. I got a loving husband, 25 years. I literally hated that nigga. I hated my father. I had to resolve that. I had to get answers from him. I needed to get his side of the story. I needed to have a little empathy for his lack thereof of any type of foundation. We talking a 50s born male. So, his life was something unique. And with that, I gained a lot of knowledge, and I never was mad that I was born. So that kind of, balanced my hate. Because if I hate you, that means I hate me. Exactly. You understand? So to meet my husband and he's like, wait a minute, like he's alive? You might want to go. Let's deal with that, have him come through. And he met him. He was like, he seems like he really loved you. He just wasn't educated and didn't have no money. Society told me he needed to have money to come through. Because when he ever got money, we were the first he was calling. Where my kids at? Where my kids at? I got some money. Tell them come through.
That part.
Yeah.
That part. So that's the part of the
reading Sister Shahrazad's book, and it absolutely was my father. So to get my hands on that book, I absolutely learned a lot about him and his mindset, because I couldn't get it from him. He didn't articulate very well. And he was the blaming, pointing the finger at everybody, a lack of accountability. So I saw that from that side, but I didn't go out to the world to hate every man because he didn't do his duty and responsibility. You understand? So,
yeah.
And it's hard to get through that. It's not that easy. But again, I grew up with brothers and I had a love for them, and a hate for them. Sibling rivalry.
Yeah.
Like that shit is real.
Yeah, I was the oldest. I kicked their ass, so it was easy for me.
Yeah. But it's good to have, because you learn the opposite sex, on a different level to some degree. You learn some type of understanding on how we work, and we work differently. You see it.
I love the point you made because even if it's from the book, because it's crazy. If a man is like they'll shame men. They'll give them the shame. They'll do the reputation destruction thing. They'll do their reflex thing, and then you're mad and you're sad when it works. You told this man if he don't got no money, you don't need to be around him. If you can't, you need money to raise a child. So it worked, and he stayed the freak away from you. Now you want to play these men ain't even, these men just leaving. You told him to leave. He ain't got nothing to offer you. Ain't nothing to talk about but the rent. Nigga ain't got rent money. He broke.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the reason for him to be there? The way he can think about it, that's one less mouth for you to feed. It's interesting. It's interesting.
It is.
I have a call
for not being one of them ladies. You know, my hatred came from what I saw, because she was raised with your family, so you were around. You know, you chose to not be present because of the script that society tried to make you live up to. You know, but I buried him. I took care of him. I did all the hospice. You know, went and took care of him in Staten Island, in one of the most gulliest of gullies I grew up in. I'm just saying. Unique. It was quite unique. So you just never know how life recycles. Yeah. You know, and I definitely would want any of my sisters to go and get healed. You know, deal with that shit. Because you can, especially if the people are alive. Yeah, go deal with that. Hard conversations are hard. And if you already have this dismissiveness and they don't care already, why not have it? Fuck it. If they don't care, then you know, you got it off your chest. So I encourage that. And if you need guidance with that, there's a lot of information on these platforms. Okay. So there's a lot of links in my description as well. Click on one, learn something, you know, get that motivation, you know, and inspiration to advocate for yourself. Got to protect yourself, right? The little child inside needs you to protect them.
Yes.
For real, for real. And it's that time. We cannot keep holding these fucking secrets. You know, deal with the people who knew and didn't do nothing. Deal with it.
Yes.
Word up. Time to get tough and strong, because survival of the fittest is real.
And now our feature presentation.
I like that.
I was molested from 6 to 8 years old from an older girl at church.
They get toyed with, you know.
That shit a violation by all means.
Oh. Number one.
I got molested in church by an older girl at the church when I was from 6 years old to 8 years old.
Shout out to It Is What It Is podcast. Let's check it out.
I was molested from 6 to 8 years old from an older girl at church.
They get toyed with, you know.
That shit a violation by all means.
Oh. Number one.
I got molested in church by an older girl at the church when I was from 6 years old to 8 years old. While my mama was praising God, her son was in the back of the church getting forced to have fellatio at 6 years old. For 2 straight years, 2.5 years. Wow. Right now to this day, at 40 years old, I am right now. When the girl used to make me do it, right? See how it came about. First, I want to say that.
What y'all think so far? I'm gonna pull up the video so I can pause it through, because that's a lot of information to take through. What do you think so far? I just noticed when he said when girls used to make me do it. So, you know, in any situation, you know, after that, his mentality. Child, what you think of that so far?
I speak to what I've seen and what I've experienced and what I've done and what has happened to me. I don't know how old I was, but whoever my mom left me with, I might have been 3. I could have been anywhere from almost 3 to 4 years old. I remember getting molested by whatever babysitter she left me with. I think it was a lot of times, to be honest with you. But what I've seen from that and also physical abuse is when you have a male that gets his power taken from somebody that he knows he's superior to when he gets old enough, false compensation starts to happen. Yeah, like you said earlier, you create these little boys. You create them, and then you want to whine and complain about them, which is look like conspiracy, aka Rico to me. It's like you creating a situation to be able to make sure you're damaging somebody enough to they create the narrative that you want to be able to say because you've seen it on TV. And when you have all of these males who had their power taken by females, it's like these females know they got it coming, so they just start saying the story before it even happened to them, like what Mr. He said was shown yesterday. And the growing up, knowing that was older women, I only like older women. I didn't like girls my age. Like I liked them, they were cute, but that's not the ones I like. Because before I could even formulate what I liked, I had already had these parts and bodies touched, and like they say, you can't make a second first impression. I've already was moving in that way to deal with older women. Most of the women, probably a good 80% of the women I've dealt with in my life was older than me. And you get that imprint, and you're in that position, like you said, made you do it. I fucking ain't 3 and 4 years. I mean, I remember the days laying on the bed and looking at my little shorts being pulled down by somebody with nails. You know what I'm saying? And looking at her heavy set hand, you know what I mean, et cetera, et cetera. Like I've been through life, I've been able to, as I got healthier, which is another part of why you get healthier, my memory just has been getting better and better and better, and you can see more details. And
I'm sorry you had to experience that.
I appreciate it.
And the worst part is a lot of those you won't forget.
Yeah.
You won't forget.
Certain they have your power taken as a male and as a young male, you go out and you false compensate. So a lot of the violence that they say that young men do in the hood starts with a lot of these women taking power from them. And it's not limited to this. I know we're on sexual assault today, but it's not limited to that. That verbal abuse, that because all of it shows up in sex. All of it shows up in sex. All those different traumas, all those different good qualities, they show up in sex, and they show up in people's approach to sex. And I've seen constant dudes that this woman did this to me when I was young. I used to they'll brag about it because the niggas try to look cool. We're not even gonna
that's what we grew up around. I didn't find out it didn't change world class because we got a 23-year-old and she says she definitely has these kind of conversations, and the guys feel that way. They express it that way, whether they're just saying that in the crowd, in the conversation at the time. But yeah, it's more of a way of passage and a prideful kind of thing that it happened versus girls is not the same.
Yeah, they'll express it like, I'm that nigga, and it's being older. You looking like it looks being 30, 38. I'm like, God, we look crazy. Because if a girl did that, we would teach her. We would go out of our way to teach a little 14-year-old bragging about a 35-year-old. They would teach her, girl, you. So either we got to look at the deal. Either that's we're doing too much when it comes to the girl, and we're doing too less, and find some medium, or we're just doing too less for the boys, because the girls get coached into understanding that, girl, you got grape. She's 14. This man is putting his stuff in you. You are grape. And the boys need to get the same stuff, because all of those things that comes with that. And again, I can't emphasize it enough. When a little boy gets his power taken, it's starting to show up with these submissive ass males. You've been dominated by a female young, and now you're submissive when you're older. That's how neuroscience works. It has to be addressed. So when he says what he says, she kept making me do it. And the other part, the thing that stuck out to me the most in that clip is the silence. I'm glad they weren't laughing and playing, but the silence. It wasn't, oh, damn, what? It wasn't the usual thing you'll hear. If any other woman, like literally any other woman, was saying the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's important. It's an important topic. And like me and you sitting up here saying it, people are going to want to dismiss it. But when you get children and when you get preteens to start saying these stories, somebody that's going to be way more emotional than we are and crying and snotting, then they'll affect it. But being mature like this, to be in a preventative situation, they don't take heed to it too, which is akin to them not taking heed to these exact abuses that we're talking about. And we're not talking about important stuff in the spaces. Well, we are right now. Where the fuck are you at?
Mm-hmm.
Solving the problem.
And for women, it's a buildup of sympathy, right? You build up to it, and then in the end, everybody is, oh my God, oh I'm so sorry that happened. But for men, it's not the same.
No,
not at all. Mm-mm.
From an older girl at church.
They get toyed with, you know.
That shit a violation by all means.
Oh. Number one.
I got molested in church by an older girl at the church when I was from 6 years old to 8 years old. While my mama was praising God, her son was in the back of the church getting forced to have fellatio at 6 years old. For 2 straight years, 2.5 years. Wow. Right now to this day, at 40 years old, I am right now. When the girl used to make me do it, right? See how it came about. First, I want to say that
when a girl make me do it.
Look at where it's happening at. The place that it's happening at is crazy.
In church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when I say the lack of care, because it's like, are you not loving up on your child? Your child don't smell like pussy. Your child don't smell like ass or some type of sex. How do you not know? How do you not know for 2 years? Little girls ain't cleaning their ass.
Exactly.
Where's the nurture? You leave in the Lord's house. You don't hug your child not one time to smell some shit. Your child just funky. I didn't bring you here smelling like that. You understand? Like, it's a goddamn shame.
I think same way we got people that are haters about other people's success and what they got. I think we got people that are haters about children's innocence and love to see them lose it. It's Islam, though. I think other people's innocence bothers a lot of these people that are here. And I guess I go into a deeper conversation of all these even people. Because I don't see it. I'm not seeing how you're so passionate about a man doing something wrong. But that same action, you don't open your mouth about when a woman is doing it to a child. Like the gap in strength and capability between a toddler and a grown-ass woman is dramatically bigger between an adult male and an adult female. And you can get goofy and get some 4'11" female and some 7-foot nigga. But the average female walking around today, especially in this country, the fattest country on earth, and a 7-year-old is dramatically different. Their little fragile bodies. So me being a dad and being a NICU dad at that and feeling this frail, light little baby in my arms and thinking of somebody hitting him like 2 or 3 years from now, from that moment blows my mind that you would think that this is something to fuck. This tiny little baby who don't know how to roll good, don't know how to color correctly, color in the lines. You want to fuck that. It's fucking psycho to me. It just blows my mind. Like I don't even understand.
Articulate a word, right? Speak a full sentence. Yeah. It's mind blowing.
Shame on you.
You know, this is why I can't be ignorant to that. Children they've always been preferred. What are you talking about? This is not new.
Yep.
That's why it needs to be talked about. You need to be aware and conscious, especially when you start having children.
Right now to this day, at 40 years old, I am right now. when the girl used to make me do it, right? See how it came about. First, I want to say that this is just my truth. You know what I'm saying? It's not to embarrass nobody because it's my truth. You get what I'm saying? So in order to be violated, it got to be a violator. So this is not to embarrass nobody. It's the hardest thing in the world for me to do. It took so much for me to call my mama and tell my mama. You get what I'm saying? But it's like the fear that I always had of telling my mama, I got the same results that I was scared of from 6 years old to 40. The girl who molested me in the church, she died from AIDS.
Wow.
When I was probably about 10 or 11. So from 10 to 16, I thought I had AIDS as a child and had to keep all this inside.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
a lot.
He absolutely was fully aware that AIDS, epidemic that was going on back. Could you imagine this child going through that?
Yeah, that's a lot.
That is. And it's more to this story.
I want to deal with, because that's heavy right there. That's where a lot of his trauma is. Yeah, shout out to everybody that's pulling up. Please hit the like button. Shout out to everybody. We having these grown people conversations to help these babies, protect our children. I want to address, so I don't forget it, his preface or his disclaimer to any other person, especially to the men, because this is what it's about, and the young men who have gone through this. You do not have to give that, and stop giving it. Fuck her, fuck your mom's feelings, fuck any grandma, fuck these females' feelings about what happened to you, because they do this. And it's not even about that part, to take that part. You're the victim. You don't have to give no fucking disclaimer about somebody getting their feelings hurt because you're talking about how you got hurt. Fuck them and their feelings. They can die. Who cares? Stop doing that. That in itself, it should tell you that this guy's not making up anything, because he's still in Stockholm syndrome. He still have to, at his big age, feeling accomplished.
People who didn't protect him.
That shit crazy. Jumping in front of the bullet for master. And it's just,
I've seen this. This is real life. This is real life. That's why I said I have to do this, because I've had so many conversations since being a child with people who have dealt with this and loving up on their parents. They will allow their children to go and stay in the home where that shit happened.
Yes.
It's that amazed me. And it's like, well, I'm confused on why you letting this baby go over there. Because they changed it. Are you kidding me? I'm not even taking that risk. Fuck that. We're not doing that. You good like that? Like, and the love for these parents that allowed it. I'm amazed by it.
People don't, like, my homeboys and like people that was close, just one. He talked to me about my son being around my mom. I'm like, no. I don't know if my youngest brother, because she had 3 boys, was molested, but me and the middle one was. I'm like, this idiot, and attacked her. I'm like, this idiot is incapable of protecting children. Why the fuck would I want him around her? No, I don't put that motherfucker around my son. No, I don't give a fuck about how that sound or what it look like. No, you incompetent. I'm not doing that. It's not a thought process to me. That's why these conversations have to happen, and content creators got to bring it up, because I'm an anomaly. Like, I'm rare to go, yeah, my mother's garbage. She's not good at fucking protecting children. I'm not going to bring my child around. But you got people like you just said, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Ma, you coming? You come? Like, what the fuck are you bringing the idiot that put everybody in danger? Like, shit's stupid. If she was a regular bitch in the street, you wouldn't do it. But it's my mother. Say it again.
Family. Yeah, fuck that. I'm with you. I don't play that shit. You will not be around my children.
That's not family. That's not family. I mean,
that's your first line of protection is us saying,
Listen, we can coin this. It's a mommy lynch chip. I call it the mommy lynch chip. They got, like, in the conscious community, they call it the Willie lynch chip. It's a mommy lynch chip. It's just thing in their brain that just won't allow them to be human. And I just call things for what it is, because I was told by the same person to not lie. And if I see something, say something. So I'm not gonna lie. If you are a piece of shit and you can't protect your child, I'm not If you can't protect, I watched you not protect us. What the fuck would I? Why would I be around you? Why would I bring somebody that I love and I care about and I'm responsible for around somebody that I know is incompetent and incapable? I used to watch my mom argue for the girls to come over her house because we all boys. So she ain't have girls other than my god sister who passed away. And I'm like, the girls will come over and then she'll holler at them. I'm just like, what? No, you can't get out of my room. Oh, you fucking brought these children over here to do this? It doesn't make any sense. Like I'm on a tangent, but you watch the behavior as a parent, and then you that is a problem. You take your child in the same situation that you know is wrong. That's insanity. That's not just, oh, that's wrong, tap on the wrist. That's fucking crazy.
Right.
Nothing doesn't. But if it's a nigga, if it was a dad, yeah, that nigga ain't never gonna see his kids. But for some reason, when it's the mom, she gets a billion chance to keep fucking up the next generation to accomplish what exactly? What's the point? I call it the mommy lynchship. I think it's worse than Jim Crow.
It is. I would say it is. We dropping the ball.
And Sugar Mom right. The men don't tell because other men make them feel good about it. That's not wrong. That's actually the truth.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. We've been stated that.
That's
I mean, and it's just, when you grow up in families where, mothers can't do no wrong. And like you said, it's championed by some boys, some men as they grow up. It's not looked at and frowned upon, but they have to deal with the effects of it. Because the only perception is doesn't matter, but that individual is dealing with however they're dealing with. And I'm grateful that at 40, he came out to express what was going on and still the empathy and the consideration for the people who had hand in it. It's like, I don't want to embarrass nobody. I don't want to make nobody feel bad. And it's like, why do we still have to coddle and pander? That's not okay. That doesn't help the healing.
Exactly.
Because we still take away the responsibility of the people who were supposed to be responsible and protect you. Now you're protecting them as an adult. And I've seen this over and over again.
Yeah, it's an old story. And then again to that point, the men that validate this shit, most of the niggas that's allowed to be around the family is the fuck niggas that's gonna say yes to everything, and the bum ass niggas that they taking care of. They keep the boys away from men like me because they know these little boys not gonna listen to them. Grandmothers and the aunts, and they're not gonna listen to them if they're around me, because I don't listen to them. Because I know you full of shit. So a lot of these niggas is being encouraged to constantly keep and preserving some falsehood that black mothers are good, or because I don't fucking have a white mother. I don't fucking know what white mothers do. I don't know what Latino mothers do. I didn't have one. So that's the ones I know, that they're good just because they gave birth. Well, great. So is the little 13-year-old that just got pregnant today. She's a great mother just because she's gonna have a baby. There's no incentive. When you keep it like that and you preserve any of these things, there's no incentive for a child to be anything other than other than get cum in some vagina at whatever age. There's no incentive because there's no repercussions and there's no consequences for anything. So they don't learn basic common sense like cause and effect. They don't get that. Just because something happened, there's no consequences for it. This little girl touched me. This lady touched me. Listen, outside of being molested, right? How many of my mother's friends flirted with me since I was a little boy?
Please. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm the baby of brothers, man. Grown women would always hit on my brothers. Didn't take 1 second. Aunties, but they don't see nothing wrong in it. You understand? And you have to tell them, so it has to be somebody be like, yeah, no, that's not okay. Get off my brother. Why you hugging him so much? Back the fuck up a little bit. Yeah. But how many of us are really out there doing that? No. Let's see what Sugar Bum said. It's a good statement. We can't combat it if the men are big upping the boys and telling them that makes them a man. That's true, but that's the effect. The cause is the predator. Okay, we got to stop the damn predators. So it's not happening to the boys where they got to go to other boys and say, big up. It's our job to protect. And that's where we dropping the ball. Yeah. So if you haven't become a mother yet, and if you choose to be one, you are the first line of protection. Know that. It needs to be taught. You need to educate yourself if you don't know what to do and how to do that. That needs to be your purpose. And most of us young girls, grown ass women ain't doing that. Even the ones having babies at 35 and 40. So there's no age gap to it. Your job is to protect these children because this is what's happening. Okay. And if women have been running the homes for so long, our boys ain't been protected.
Right. We gotta stay on task because with the concept, because if it's a robbery situation and these little boys are the robbers, yeah, the men around the neighborhood should say stop robbing. But when he robs somebody, he in court. The person that said yeah you should rob him, they not gonna be in court. It'll be the nigga that did the robbery and the person that was robbed. And the person that was robbed in this story, in this situation, is the boys that are getting child molested, and the robber is these females. The niggas that said it was okay, they not gonna be in court with them. So we gotta stay the task and get the person that actually committed the problem. They have to suffer that. We'll get to all that other shit later. We gotta get this nigga off the streets, and we need to start calling the fucking police on these females. You care about black boys? No, go ahead.
A lot of these men who were traumatized, their reflection happens when they start to have children too. And you said, now I'm a helicopter parent. It's some shit I'm just not going to allow because, it happened to me. And then they start to deal with it differently. So it depends for everybody, how it affects them, how they're going to deal with it. But it definitely needs to be talked about. We're not going to sit back and act like our boys are not being molested, just like our girls. 1 in 4 for girls and 1 in 6 for boys. Ain't that far apart.
I got the same results that I was scared of from 6 years old to 40. The girl who molested me in the church, she died from AIDS when I was probably about 10 or 11. So that's from crazy. 10 to 16, I thought I had AIDS as a child and had to keep all this inside. Wow. But when I finally moved out my mama's house and I told my sister was the first person who know. At first, I want to say another thing I want to say too. I want to, my brothers, Brain Productions and JV, they always had a jealousy of me and my sister relationship. But the reason me and my sister relationship was so tight, she knew what happened to me.
Why
and
does
she
that
felt
matter?
like she let me down. She felt like she didn't protect me. She felt like she didn't guard me. You get what I'm saying? She felt like, but I should have been up on top of that. You get what I'm saying?
Mama should have been on top of that, not the sister. And it's a lot of times where the eldest sibling is the one who deals with that part, that guilt of them not being responsible. No. It's the parents' fault. It's the parents' fault, mama.
That part of the oldest child or the older child taking the responsibility of the mom, because they like again, like I said, I was the oldest. I know not to listen to my mother because I'm the oldest. That this is not a responsible person. That's not the person to listen to. So the little sister or the sister is gonna take responsibility like that. If I'd have knew that, I'd have beat that bitch ass type shit. But at the end of the day, as you said, it's the mother. You put them in position because church, watch it. Listen, Christians, church ain't a day off. It ain't break.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a break. It's not daycare. You going there to work. So, mom, why the fuck is your child not sitting right next to you? Oh no, at church they got a place to go for the kids. Why the fuck would they have a place to go for the kids? Why?
Yeah.
You there to work. You there to learn the Lord. They need to see you learning it. Why are they over there? It don't make any sense. When you keep looking at it, it doesn't make sense. It's not a relaxed time. It's not your day off. God's day of rest, not yours. That's what your book say.
It makes sense to me, because it's just something that's been a repeated history, right? The children of the church possibly have been molested. So you send your children to the back to go hang out back there. And by all golly, they're learning a lot more than you expected in Bible study.
Yes.
Like, come on. It's so many stories.
I wasn't as young as him. Same thing. They in the whatever, the little room of the pews, the altar and all that shit. We upstairs with the food cooking in the cafeteria, in the closet, playing hide and go free. I'm not even playing. Literally the same story. touching on titties, getting kissed, getting touched, kissing, sitting on laps, all of that. That's why I'm not even joking. I did all of that in church. I'm pretty sure me and him don't live in the same state. Just gotta
Right,
ask
and
him.
me neither. I was up in New York, but we was outside. We wasn't even in the church. Shit. So children will expose other children as well, and still doesn't make it okay. This is why you need to have these conversations with your children, just so they're comfortable enough to come and say something happened.
Right.
You know, and Sugar Bum asks why he wait till 40. You're gonna keep asking that? It's different for everybody. Some children tell right away and nothing happens. So he waited till 40 because he waited till 40. Simple.
No, he didn't wait till 40. He told his sister.
Right.
At I forgot what age. To 16. Because he said from 10 to 16, that's when he told his sister. He was afraid to tell his mom. He's on a podcast now at 40 telling it.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's more to it? We're gonna listen.
So it's like my sister, she covered me until she died. And my brothers, them just, they didn't know, you know what I'm saying, what was the reason of. But now, Brain Productions, JV, I'm finna give y'all the understanding of why the relationship Miss Mimi had with Boo Deezy was.
Decent people.
Yeah, bro, I went through all middle school. I went through all elementary school, thinking I'm gonna wake up one day and be skinny.
It's horrible.
I'm talking about you. I'm the definition of real psychological strength. I had to go to the funeral of a motherfucker who molested me and watch my mama, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Console the parent of the motherfucker who f***ed me up.
That's crazy. That's wild. That's crazy. This is not even for no YouTube. That's not even human, bro. That's not human.
I know plenty personally who had to be present at funerals of people who, done harm to them. And it is wild. This is absolutely wild. Yeah.
This don't make it to these conversations about Pookie and Ray Ray. You don't make it. How many times you had a funeral of somebody that hurt you? That part don't come up. That's heavy, man. That's not human to have to go through.
Or how many of them will admit that their mother had a lack of care and concern for them, that it was their fault. They'll blame the predator, of course, right? Because the predator did the act. But where were you? What were you doing? How did you not notice?
Allah be my witness. I swear on my life. Just safe numbers, 10 females have told me that when they told their mom that their boyfriend, the mom's boyfriend, touched them, their mom beat them up and put them out. Chicks that don't know each other. When they told their mom that they were molested by the new boyfriend or the dad, because the two of them was dad, their own father, the mom beat them up and put them out the house. Let alone just ignore them. This is heavy. That's a lot. That's a lot. To be at a funeral.
The boyfriend got beat up and put out the house. See, people might not have caught that.
The daughter.
The child, the person who expressed that something happened to them, they got beat up and was put out. Female.
Yes.
Right.
I wish I could give the names because I would.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, I had a friend come up. We actually did a show. I had a sister come up and do a whole testimony a couple months back and talked about this whole situation because at almost 50 years old, has to still deal with mama rekindling a relationship with the molester.
Oh.
And now the future. And it's like, well, he's different now type shit. Like, that was horrible. Yeah, so go back and check out my sister episode. Yeah, it still happens. And to have our 23-year-old always had these conversations because, she's out in the world and she's building with, other people, humans out in the world. And they build on conversations like this about their first initiation into sex. And most of the boys, same type of stuff. So it's still happening. Ladies, what the fuck are y'all doing? I'm holding you to the fire. You are in said possession of these children. Okay? I do not want to hear about the absent nigga who ain't around. It's the reason why he ain't around, and I don't give a fuck why. You the one that has to deal with that, not me. Don't make up a whole excuses, but you're in possession of these children. Your responsibility is to protect them, feed them, nurture them, educate them as best possible. And if you don't know, you need to educate yourself to get there so you can. Because this is unacceptable. We're sending young boys out into the world to be men, but they don't have a fresh start, a good, solid foundation to start on. If you're tampering with them sexually and they wonder why they're out being so overly sexualized, thinking that it's okay to do that to themselves because, you know, moms allow that shit. It's not being built upon.
This is intense. It's a lot.
Blessed at me and watch my mama, you know what I'm saying, console the parent of the motherfucker who me up. I'm 10, 11 years old, bro. 5th grade. I never forget this shit. I had to go to the funeral, get out of school early and everything. So me knowing you used to fuck with me and you just died from AIDS, what the fuck I supposed to be thinking as a goddamn child?
It's fucked up. Emotionally, mentally, psychologically, health-wise, like.
That's a lot.
That is it. It is what it is. Podcast. Check them out.
Definitely will.
For the full video, I'm sure one in six boys are sexually assaulted. In the description, there's a lot of links to different articles and statistics when it comes to this type of stuff. There's also some assistance and help and support links as well in there. You know, because a lot of people don't know how to deal with trauma. We don't know how to deal with this. And like you said, you know, men are told a different script. They're not a victim. You know, they get no empathy, no sympathy, no consideration, no benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And this is what it looks like.
I was fucking at 11. I had Nate at 15. I had my daughter when I was 15. It ain't cause you a male, it ain't cause you 15, you supposed to, cause you're young money. You're supposed to. Fuck that shit. I still fuck. I got raped when I was 11, Twist.
Supposed to, cause you young money.
Yeah, it's not even just because you're 15. Like, yeah, you young money. You're supposed to have sex. Shit.
Supposed to have children specifically.
But I still fuck. I got raped when I was 11, Twist. I loved it. I ain't never pressed charges.
Look at him.
Yeah, this is what Sugar Bum spoke of. This is what the men look like, and look at his trajectory in his life. Horrible.
Yep.
Horrible. Money doesn't equate to success. This poor child, this man child, who's not just been abused by women, he was abused by men.
Yeah, you gonna say as much, which is
for money. So you're sending your children out into the hands of fucking wolves, especially with this, you know, limelight attention whore mentality, ladies. Because the men ain't thrusting them out into society to get this deal or that deal or here, shoot, turn the camera on, act, let's do it. Like, yeah, it's the women.
Yeah.
Y'all children have their own TikToks with millions of predators watching them. Wait till one of them get their hands on them. Boys, girls, you're doing too fucking much with your babies and you're not protecting them. It's Lil Wayne right here. Y'all love him to death. Ain't nobody protect him.
I ain't never pressed charges. I'm gonna do you like baby them did me.
And yeah, you know, hurt people hurt people. Yeah, I'm gonna do you like baby them did me.
After saying he was great.
So what you saying? You gonna get me raped too? I'll come and sign this deal. That's just a part of the deal. This is what happens. There's a lot of artists that talk about this type of demon actions that go on behind the scenes. And y'all willing participants. A lot of you ladies are willing participants to introduce your children right into it. Come on, let's get these deals. clap them cheeks. I always say with the petty reds, it's not my petty red, not you red lipstick vibes. I love you. Sexy red, and all these whore type influencers, so these children say. This type of hoardism, that's what it is.
Hoardism.
Money for, because they ain't saying nothing intelligent, with any substance, right? This is acceptable. There should be some shame in that. Like, we women need to say, no, this is not okay. Would you allow your daughter to act like that? Because you can say, I don't let my child see that. I don't let when they get out there, they'll see it. Are you going to be able to prevent them from behaving this way, or you don't care? Because most mothers I'm seeing, they don't give a fuck. Prove me wrong. That's what I want to hear.
So, fuck that shit. I got raped when I was 11, Twist. I loved it. I ain't never pressed charges.
Laugh.
I'm gonna do you like baby them did me. Yeah. I'll never forget that day.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all caught that. I ain't never gonna forget that dick. You ain't say pussy. Oh, he said day? I thought he said dick.
Yeah, you make it sound like a badge of honor. I'm never going to forget that day. Like, you're proud, but you should never forget that day, sir. You got to
Absolutely.
I'm going to do you like baby and them did me. Yeah. I never forget that day. Hey, listen, it seemed like it was dick in the day.
One of the days.
Yeah, one of the days, right.
I got raped when I was 11, Twist. I loved it. I ain't never pressed charges. I'm gonna do you like baby them did me. Yeah. I'll never forget that day. Yeah, no, they was all in the kitchen. I was scared. It was cool. It was about this many in that bit. I never forget the word. Suck la wine la dick.
Your peers are laughing. A room full of people. No one thinks that's wrong or inappropriate. No, because of how he's telling the story. Because he's showing pride in it. Because if he was telling the story in a different way, like the other young man, right? Like you said, it was quiet. The silence when he expressed what happened to him. But now they cheering. They laughing. Is that how it's delivered? When you...
It's crazy how that response, they'll talk like that response is so organic to men. It's just natural to men. But at the same time, anything that men have done, it was because of a woman. But that's in itself, it's isolated and organic, that response. That's how they'll talk. Like, men just came up with that. They didn't get it from women. It didn't happen from being around them. They just got it. It's just men came up with it. Men just did that by themselves. That's how they'll express that. See, it's y'all encourage it. Cool. Keep that. So when it comes to you, y'all encourage it. The I'll wait. But this guy's clearly telling them.
It's a lot of them because most people experience it. Majority, like you said, majority of people you meet have experienced some type of sexual abuse. Whether it be a young child, a mid-child, a teenager, a young adult, a grown person. And these are things that you don't want to talk about, but a lot of people lead with it as a victim mentality to look for sympathy and empathy. But when a man does, it's like, why you didn't tell somebody? Why you wait till you grown? Questions start to ask, but women no.
Look at him himself. I was talking about it a few times. Thought about it a few times earlier in this stream. It's false compensation. All the drugs this dude do. One of the biggest artists on the planet. For the last almost 20 years, he's drinking and smoking his hair off, literally. That false compensation because his trauma is a joke to other people. That's why I rock with the guys that I rock with on this space, because I think we've been honest about it. Podcasts, guys, those of us that came up through the hood, man, that shit ain't fun. It ain't cute. It's traumatic. And you got to be honest about the fact that the stuff that happened in front of us and that we participated, that shit not okay. It's not right. It's not okay. The stuff I did, people I hurt, it wasn't right. And me getting hurt by whoever didn't justify my actions to somebody else. It's not okay. Two wrongs don't make a right is what that means. And they're laughing, man, and taking years off this kid's life. Like, you claim you love Wayne, but you're not, because that's stress. And I'm healthy as fuck, but I can eat as healthy as possible. But stress, I can't do nothing about. That's why I be joking. I'm stressed out. It's stressful because that's the one thing I can't control, man. He's behind those eyes, because you know how to fake. If you know how to fake and put on that fake face, you know how to see it when somebody else is doing it. Behind those eyes is a sad little boy. A sad little boy, and y'all killing this kid. Yeah. He needs help bad.
And money don't fix nothing
at all. It enhances the problem or the solution. It always just an enhancer. It's not a solution. Anything outside, I was told money is extremely valuable in areas that it affects, and extremely unvaluable in areas that don't affect. It can only affect the money issue, and that's it. And that's not going to solve that.
Right. And you rarely have people who, because my life, me and my husband talk about it all the time. I don't give a fuck about money. Society says I need money because I got to pay this and pay that and pay this, but we can live without it. Like you said, the earth is plentiful. Yeah. It gives us so much, and we're so far removed from that, and especially our women. And it's really showing in how our children are turning out, how our adult people are now. And we want to point the finger and blame different generations and generations. Yes, the holders of those children, the ones who were in possession of. And this is what we're getting, Little Wayne's.
If our children were a Thanksgiving meal we made, what would they be? Who would eat? Who can get the first plate? You got to equate it to something they value. You value food. If our children and our output and the product that we put out here on the streets for our own selves for the last 60 years, if it was Thanksgiving dinner, who gonna take place on? Who gonna eat first? What's the candy yams?
A non-human item, a phone. The phone is gonna eat first.
It's a fact. We'll take a picture, right?
Yeah. I'll never forget that day. Yeah, no, they was all in the kitchen. I was scared. It was cool. It was about this minute.
He was scared. It was all in the kitchen.
Express past that quickly, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, you hear the pride in it, but then you hear the scared little boy, like he's expressing a whole wide range of different type of emotions. You're gonna get this dick, but I was scared. We was all talking about it in the kitchen.
This is like testing, introducing, seeing what you can get away with. This is just testing it in the field. He don't know what he doing. He just high and drunk as he's doing it, seeing what he can get away with. It's a lick. I know one when I see one. This is sad, bro.
In that bit, I never forget the word. Suck la wine la dick.
Jesus Christ. Like they say, it be your own.
Child.
Yeah, like they say, it be your own, man. There's a I don't know the viral clip. It was a guy, forgot what show he was on. He was talking about it. He was screaming and hollering about it, and then it just died out. It wasn't. It ain't really. It went viral, but it didn't. It's like 2-3 years old. Nobody really want to talk about the fact that these guys are hurt. Like, they didn't get the work I got. I got work. I got a lot of work done. They can't even be honest about it to see if you can handle it yourself, because they've suppressed it. They know if I even tell, if they, all of that other problems that they had with society, with their mom, with these females that they deal with, it gets rejected. So what's the point of them talking about something they're vulnerable about, on the part where they were powerless? Why would they talk about something super vulnerable or super powerless when, like, the thing that I'm not vulnerable at, you don't even respect? I'm not going to open myself up even more.
Yeah. You have to earn that vulnerability. Shit, the woman who was supposed to protect me didn't do their job. How can I trust you? Please. And we're quick to throw that type of shit in your face. As soon as you don't do something out of the ordinary, we're hurt, bitter, jaded, it'll be thrown back in your face. That's why you was touched as a little kid.
Yeah. So it's like, where's the empathy for the men that you are attached to in life, that you act like you are complaining about because you want them to change for you? Where's the empathy? You don't give them no empathy, and you get mad when they go, all right, buy a dog, die alone. It's like you're doing it on purpose, i.e. conspiracy, RICO, like you doing shit just to have something to complain about because these little girls want their turn. They watch their mom sit on the phone, talk shit about their friends, talk shit about their daddy and this nigga and that nigga and the other nigga, and they just want their turn to whine and whimper and complain. But you didn't know what all came with that. You didn't know you was going to get touched as a woman. You didn't know that this girl to look just like you called your mom was going to be a tyrant sexually for you. And then they give you and teach you the envy to have with men. It's okay to do this shit to men. Mm-hmm. And you watch the very same thing that you don't want to happen to you, happen to your cousins, happen to your brother, and you don't say shit. And you live with that guilt. You watch those little boys get touched. You live with that guilt day in, day out. It don't matter how many wigs you put on. It don't matter how much you dress up. It don't matter how many tricks you think you're going to run. You're still with you every day. Day in, day out, you're still with you. You got to look at that face in the mirror.
We need to educate one another.
Mm-hmm.
We get to this age and think we don't want to, we think we're not responsible for educating each other, right? Like you said, we've been going through these things. This is why I did this platform. It's a lot of things that we were doing. We're living in a particular type of environment, exposed to, that's just unacceptable. And we do have control over our families. We do have control over our household and our children. And y'all need to take that shit back. Because some shit that just wasn't tolerating. And if I got to lift and move my family away from a whole family that I love and adore, because I don't want them to be exposed to some bullshit, this is what we're going to do. And it's okay. And we really need to start to teaching this and exposing it, because the cycle is just continuing to repeat from people who have been through it. It's like, you've been through it. Why you ain't talk to your kids? I don't know how to have that kind of conversation. What the? Really?
But you know how to fuck. You figure that out.
Know how to get them wigs and them eyelashes and go to work. Punch a clock. Order some Uber and some Lyft. Fuck out of here. I'm tired of the excuses. Our children are to get hurt.
Y'all figure out any new hairdo that come out, whether it takes 6 hours to do the shit or 9. You gonna do the new hairstyle, the micro braids, all of that. You think about it. In your life, you're gonna spend more energy putting in your micro braids, but you ain't gonna put 2-3 minutes into asking your child who touched you. But you're a good parent. Figure that hair shit out. You need to figure out the mom shit out. Protect these little boys. You made a decision to be the one that the primary custodial parent. You got protection, responsibility for protecting those boys. You took that, right? You can continue to get with your stupid friends and go, yeah, it's that nigga fault. All right, cool. That nigga fault. He whatever. He not in the house. He the little boy in the house with you. When he get touched, it's on you. That'll motivate your ass. Like that lady that went to jail. Mm-hmm. If a lot of y'all start going to jail for y'all children getting hurt in your custody, well, some consequence coming, which the child getting to. If a child can't be protected, why do you need to have him? What you need to have him for? Just a second or third chance? Okay, cool. You put him in position. Second or third time, this child got raped or molested. Yeah, you need to go to jail. Or these babies need to be away from you. It's too much. It's too important to continue to keep letting every generation experience the same thing over and over and over again. We want to say, you got these white males and these other people that want to comment on our community talking about, if you can't protect the women, then you're not a man. Well, shit, if you can't protect the children, you're not a man. And you can't protect the children, you're not a woman. I don't understand how you keep putting children, men and women above children when they the person that's dependent on everybody. I just like, it blows my mind. Like, protect your own goddamn children. These European people who used to eat them.
Still.
Yeah, still putting
A
them,
lot of
putting
y'all out here eating them humans don't even know. I'm just saying
using.
that's a whole nother
Yeah, it's a whole nother conversation with that.
show.
That slipped out. I was Nelson shots.
Final thoughts. Mr. Noble?
Yeah, I definitely appreciate you guys having me up. Love what y'all do over here. Y'all please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Share this out to the mature people that want to have these conversations, that want to be up here and they got their stories to tell. Email us, hit us up on IG. You guys got stories. My platform is definitely open and welcome for you. I'm sure the same is I'm sure the same is here. Is the same here. We need to hear your stories. People need to hear your stories, because it's nothing like listening to a genuine story like that. That guy hit me, man. I was like, wow. Because I talk about that. I specifically have that talking point. I don't have talking points, but the thing that I say, because it's a girl that told me that. She said, I had to watch my mother get praised on Mother's Day when I know this woman used to sell me and my sisters. You got to watch this lady get praised in front of you. You know she's a devil. It does something to you. It makes you a horrible, horrible person. There's another clip of this kid that was in like the scared straight situation. And he was like a demon. He was like, man, I was raised by women. Do something to me. I'm just like, I said, wow. I'm dead. It just make me want to hurt people. I'm like, yeah, that's because your power is being taken from you, and you got to watch that person be praised in front of you. That's some crazy shit to go through. That's crazy. For you to have to go, yes, sir, master, yes, sir, master. And he whipping the shit out of you, and people are praising him, and your own people are praising him. That does something to your mind, man. You want to go not the blackity black hotep thing, but at the end of the day, let's just talk neuroscience and psychology. That destroys your mind. That destroys your soul and your identity. It takes you and robs you of your identity when you can't even be safe in here, because your mind is like, you can't protect yourself and you're not dealing with what happened to you, but your cousins and them know what happened to you, your brothers and them know, your aunts and uncles and grandparents know what you've been through, but they still asking you about going to the club and movies and what you gonna wear to the party. That shit fuck with you. That shit destroys you as a human being. You have to get the fuck away from them people. I'm talking about myself. I did that. Like, y'all niggas know this lady is in here fucking us up. And if I killed this motherfucker, I'm the bad guy. I can easily do that. So let me get the fuck. So if it's fuck me, bitches, fuck you. Fuck you. I'll find another one of y'all before you find another one of me. And I dipped. What bloodline can afford to lose a man like me? It's not too many. So y'all that wake up and y'all conscious, walk the fuck away. Now, I don't mean it from no conscious communities. You aware of what's going on, and that's not being respected. My mentor used to tell me, protect your mind at all times. Protect your mind at all times. Protect it. Protect it at all times. At all costs. It's the only thing keeping you here is the health of your mind. Stop letting people play games with you. Y'all see how I snap in a heartbeat. Stop playing games with me. I'm not your fucking little friend. I'm not your little rose or toy. I'm not something to keep playing. You're not gonna play with my mind and play with my motherfucking time. Protect your mind. It's not okay for people to use you as some fucking plaything. You're not here for that. And for that little fucking I don't know, whatever you want to call it. You're not a damn tree ornament or just some furniture for people to walk by like you're not here. You have to protect your brain, and your abuse is just as important as somebody else's. You may not be as valuable as they are financially. You may not have the skills they have as a parent, but your abuse weighs the same as theirs, and it's not okay for you to be treated like shit like everybody fucking else, like a damn dog. Stop tolerating this shit. Open your mouth. You have a right to speak, or if you can't speak, type it. If you can't type, write it. Do whatever the fuck you have to do to protect yourself from demonic and satanic possession, where they're trying to teach you it's okay for you to be hurt because of some fucking narrative that have nothing to do with you. There's no expiration date on the bottom of your feet. So act like you're going to live and protect yourself at all times. Viciously, violently. It is okay to be violent to protect yourself. It's okay. I said it is. If nobody else said it is, I did. You can go and blame me.
I second that.
Tell your mom and them I said it. Send her ass over here. I get it straight. You have a right to be violent and viciously protect yourself mentally and spiritually from people that don't give a fuck about you. It is not okay whether you are a woman. I keep shit 100. Even if you are in the gunocracy, you over there with Cynthia G, you over there with Princella. It's not okay for somebody to have had violated you as a child. It's not okay for none of us, for our innocence to be taken, because it is the most precious thing we have. I'm not even talking about as a virgin. I'm just talking about just spiritually. Your innocence is not okay for somebody to take that from you, and everybody to sit the fuck around and act like it's okay. It's not okay to continue to put innocence in danger. You have a right to stand the fuck up and do whatever the fuck you got to do to protect yourself from evil. It's evil when a motherfucker knows that innocence is in danger. That's evil, and don't do shit about it. That's horrible. It's not okay. I don't give a fuck if it was a boy who came from grape or a girl that came from grape. It's not okay for them to be violated. I don't understand why it's hard to understand. I don't give a fuck if it's a 17-year-old and they're going to be 18 in a year and 21 in 2 years and can drink. It's not okay for them to be violated. I don't give a fuck if it's a single mother ghetto bitch with a bonnet in her head and she got her niggas on child support. It's not okay for her to be raped and violated. It's not okay. So let's act like it.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Oh man, I really appreciate you. Really appreciate you
guys.
Coming up being transparent.
This is a work of art.
We do have to change our mindset, protect these kids, because cycles don't change. History just repeats itself over and over again, and these are things that we don't want our children to have to repeat. We don't want them to go through the things that we know exist. So it's our job to be conscious, responsible, and pay attention to a lot of detail, especially when it comes to our children. We know what's out there, so we can't be ignorant and negligent and have so much plausible deniability to everything. It's amazing, because we're failing our children. It's showing. It's absolutely showing. So we're going to get to this topic again, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
But today we're going to cut it short. It's Sunday. I really appreciate everybody popping in. Shane Sunday, 1 in 6. It's a great article I put in there. Have a look at it. Y'all get informed, okay? And be for the fight. And it starts with us peers, in the family. You got to stand up and say something. You got to call the shit out. We can't sit at the Thanksgiving table knowing 3 people at the table have been hurt and ain't nobody talking about it. Like you said, you deal with the bullshit. Oh, how is so-and-so? And this, we're not dealing with that.
No.
And if you got to deal with it and walk out and don't deal with people no more, listen, family is not more important than your safety in your mind and in your heart and in your spirit. And that's where I'm at with it. If you got to go, you got to go. Ain't playing that shit.
Yeah.
Mr. He said on the 1s and 2s, I appreciate you.
Bro. Appreciate it. Doing your thing.
We on a new day. We be back on Tuesday. He said, she said, love and abundance. Mr. He said, and Miss She said, the saids. Find us anywhere. Saturday Cerebro. Saturday pop up. Get some good info. Yesterday's show was absolutely awesome. Pretty good. So we're gonna keep doing what we do. Protect the children. Y'all know how the week go. Be kind to somebody besides yourself. Noble. Peace. We out of here.
Yeah.
You see, baby, I don't do this just for the recognition. I do it for the children. You can take the children and bounce them on their knees. Bounce them on the knee and then sing a melody. The Varnell man, did you mean he's mine?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m.